Hey guys, it's Avenger. Welcome back to the channel, and we're here at Grand Canyon Airport because it's the first time I've actually done this since it's getting 2024. You'd think I'd have done it sooner, wouldn't you? Well, we're going to go parasailing, and we're going to talk about the state of the sim 2020-2024, and we're going to see exactly how everything has panned out. Because I feel there's no more appropriate location to talk about this than right where it technically all began for many of us, or at least in me, in my case. I think this is what I'm meant to be doing here. I think I turn stuff on and I just see what happens. So let's gizzle to the whizzle and dizzle this thing. And I think by doing so, a big sail appeared. Now I should go to the runway, but it's a taxiway and this is a parasail, so I could do this from a field. I feel like a field deserves the answer here to this one. Head tracking on here so we can have a nice look around whilst we do this, and my hair is very silky right now. I just washed it, so it's not conducive to keeping my head tracking staying in one place. It's a cute little terminal down there, by the way. I walked out of that when I went to go fly the Vision Jet. Or was it that one over there? It was one of them. I think it was that one over there, because it had that, like, ranchy kind of front to it. I will point out some cool things as we're here, by the way. Things that I got to do or see whilst I was at the Grand Canyon, because they've actually updated the whole village. The whole Grand Canyon village there, Tusayan, Arizona, which is just this strip here, purely dedicated to tourists, is actually modelled fully. And I walked up and down it a few times, notably once because I left my gifts I'd purchased in a convenience store and had to go all the way back to get them in 110-degree heat, which sucked. Now, we were staying here at this resort on the left. I don't know if any of the others did this, actually, so maybe if they're not, you'll get to see what we did, those of us who went to Arizona with Microsoft. This is a really cool thing to fly, actually. I'm quite enjoying myself. Got a parasail up there. I feel like a Bond villain. I need this to be like a snowmobile that I could just jettison the sail off and go get people. So this is where we were. This is a little resort we're in. What does that do? I don't know what that does, but it's a clickable thing. That's where we were. We had lots of briefings and we played the sim in there. I stayed in this block here. And we had a very cool, like, drinky session down there. That was a posh one. They didn't let us stay there. That was too posh. Now, that's a really cool general store / gift place. Tons of cool stuff I bought there. That steakhouse was awesome. Starbucks up there is great. And I left my stuff in the convenience store there whilst buying ramen noodles and toiletries. Because, you know, I found myself 5,000 miles from home without much of the things I needed. Because I hadn't planned very well. But we're going to take off a little bit higher now. And there's a trailer park over there. Also faithfully modelled. And actually see if we can see the canyon for the first time. Because I've not seen the canyon in 2024. I didn't fly there when I was up in Arizona because, well, I was going to see the real thing. It could never compare, right? And I also wanted to do bush flying stuff because I knew everybody else would either do the Grand Canyon or airliners, and or they would do various other activities in the sim. And I knew I wanted to focus on the bush flying because it's what my viewers would want. So I never actually saw it in that sim, and I've seen it in 2020 and it was okay. So this will be my genuine first reaction of seeing it in 2024. I promise you. Other than like the one B-roll clip I had of it for the preview video. So obviously 2020's had its ups and downs. It came out, it was rough, very rough, and we had our troubles, did we not? And it got better, considerably better. Now everybody will find a reason to complain, and I guarantee if you go to any comment section of any video, mine or anybody else's, any forum topic, somebody will be whining about something. Now to them it's the worst thing in the world, or they're not looking at things clearly. Like I had someone tell me in a recent video that, why does every aeroplane cockpit in 2024 look so cartoonish? This is the worst sim ever. Whilst the cockpits do not look cartoonish. So I wonder what setting they have wrong or otherwise is impacting that. It was funny because on the video they were talking about, I was flying Sal's 1800's Cessna 206, which is a 2020 add-on aircraft. And they were saying, oh my god, the cockpit, this looks like it's from 2020. I'm like, well, it is. Congratulations. You can listen to me saying it's from 2020. But no, people always find a reason to complain. Now, this is not me building up to basically saying well, 2024 is great, but people just want to complain. Now, I've had people come at me for talking positively about 2024 before it came out. And I had people saying, well, you are a shill to Microsoft because they flew you out to Arizona. And I can see why they'd say that. But I can also tell them they're very wrong. Because I'm not. How can I tell you that? Well, you'll just have to believe me, like every other review or piece of footage I've recorded or commentary I've given on something. I like to think I've built some trust up. Now, when Microsoft invited me out to Arizona, it was on a case of no strings attached. Come and check this out and see what you think. Now, I have no problem telling you, because I had no affiliation with Microsoft before that, by the way, at all. I have no problem telling you that it has been a very disappointing launch. Even they themselves have admitted that. Now, do I think the sim has immense potential? 110%. It has so much potential. There's so many amazing things about 2024 that make it an incredible sim. And it does things that 2020 never could. And I'm very excited for that, because it's given us amazing potential to see new worlds in new ways and do new things. Is it doing it very well yet? No, it's really not. It's really, really not. It's still an epic struggle bus of monumental proportions, and that's incredibly unfortunate. I mean, it's even struggle busing right now, and I'm just flying over trees. So it's kind of okay that it's a little bit choppy, then it does it again, and I'm not sure what's causing that, so... yeah, it's probably because I'm getting closer to the canyon. It's really a little bit upset by the whole idea. What if I look this way? Can't tell. Either way, we'll find out. The truth is, it's not ready. Hasn't been ready for some time. And it's probably not going to be ready into the start of 2025. But if you're hoping to buy it and get into a sim you can replace 2024 with straight away, this isn't it. Not yet. Is it going to be? Yes. I guarantee it. Within 6 months, it absolutely will be the standard sim we're all using, we're all loving. We've seen things we want, like downloading aircraft onto our system fully, downloading other packages fully. Absolutely think that's a great idea. Downloading more and more things you want to do. If you want the opportunity to download them, cool. If you want to stream them, cool. Those should be features that are both considered options. I believe that's the school complex, by the way, at the Grand Canyon Village. So the village is up here. All the tourist stuff. And I believe that's actually the high school complex and middle school here at the Grand Canyon, where all the staff's kind of kids come and go to school. So yeah, just in case you were curious about that. I will say, coming out and seeing the canyon at 7 o'clock in the morning was a breathtaking spiritual experience. It was very unlike anything I could possibly imagine describing to you. I never expected to see anything like that in my life, and it was stunning. I had my sunglasses on most of the time, and eventually I put my actual glasses on at one of the overlooks, and was just floored. I had to sit down. I intended to take video footage during my time looking at the canyon and other things. I intended to get B-roll, and I got none of it. Because it was so stunning, I wanted to just look at it and enjoy it. I wanted to appreciate what I was seeing. Now, when it comes to 2024 as a sim, it's a lot like that. Because there's so many things about it that are going to give us exactly what we'd like to see. Exactly what we really want to experience. But aren't quite there yet. Now, we know there's issues with some of the actual kind of base systems, and that's the biggest part. I could forgive that if we had a well-flowing sim that behaved itself and did everything we asked of it, and that was fine. That would be absolutely whatever. Okay? But we don't. The base sim is still struggling with performance issues for a lot of people. The hardware expectations, which they're saying are limitations of the hardware, that's not a particularly good play because that's saying, well, upgrade your stuff. Their recommended spec should be able to manage a sim on decent settings. Yeah, that's not quite true. You do need to get closer to ideal to really get much out of this simulator, and that's not perfect. Now, do I think this sim really has the potential to be an incredible system for us all? Yes. Have I flown in 2020 a few times since 24 came out? Yes, I actually have. In fact, I made that video saying goodbye to 2020, thinking that would be the last time I ever played 2020. And it was not. Obviously, I get my DC-3 fixed in 2020 still, because there isn't one this is a weird thing, right? So all the aircraft, the stock aircraft that were in 2020 have been largely updated. Things like the Beaver and other ones have been updated to 2024, right? Including the 40th anniversary ones. The DC-3 is basically stock 2020. It's had nothing done to it. There are no covers to pull off. There are no chocks. There are no pitot covers. There is nothing. It is just there. Which, seeing it phoned in like that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, to be honest. And wow, is this as breathtaking as I thought it'd be? Wow, a little bit, yeah. One of the places we looked down at it from was over there, I think. Yeah, was over there. Holy crap. That is... whew. Okay, so as someone who's been to the Grand Canyon, this is really looks like it. This does look like it. Not like 2020's Grand Canyon, which kind of looked like it. This looks like it. This really reminds me of it. And it is a surreal experience to see it like this. It's a surreal experience to actually just take this in. Because it was a very wild and weird experience. And I will say, and this is an embarrassing one for a pilot, I don't get airsick, right? I don't get airsick at all. But at 12,500 feet above the canyon in the Vision Jet, after I got out of the left seat and I was now in the back of the aircraft, I was nauseous as heck. I was very nauseous, and I was not sick, but I was definitely feeling queasy. And I've never felt like that in a plane before. Never. Never ever. And all of a sudden there I was, absolutely feeling my worst. And it was so embarrassing, because the chief pilot for Cirrus was right there. And you don't want to get airsick in front of, like, the cool guy, right? And of course, the only girl on the plane is the one that's starting to get airsick. Talk about phoning in a stereotype, yeah? Ugh. Either way. It was... the sim we played in Arizona, clearly those computers were very, very good. There were tons of technical issues we had there, most of which were to do with just the sim being an early copy. But in terms of its fluidity and smoothness, it was great. Never an issue with actual performance. Which, frankly, I'd expect. Now, we'll try and get down to the Colorado River here and see that. There was never in terms of performance issues at all, but you wouldn't expect that, would you? No. A lot of the features like the terrain softness, bumpy ground, turbulence, all those features were in there and worked as intended. Obviously some of the tablet functions aren't quite there like a lot of the time. Like, I'd like to be able to click and hide some of the tablets in some planes. I would like it to be a visible thing that you can see in other planes, which would be nice, but it's not. It's just a pop-up. And I wish more developers would include it as an actual physical thing, because it's cool to have it there, especially with the map on it. Having it as a pop-up is cool, but pop-ups take up space. I don't want to use those all the time. And realistically, it gives us a lot of useful stuff. I really like it for checklists, for example. It's fantastic for that. I didn't see any major differences, realistically, in terms of what we got out of the package, but the server performance. Now, I talked about saying, oh, no, it'll be fine, because they had really rubbish internet up there. And they did. But I don't think it's the internet requirement that's the problem. As we discovered, it's the server capacity and the server tolerance. And they've improved that dramatically, and it has got much, much, much better. But it was awful out the gate. Was that the fault of Game Pass users mass purchasing it on Game Pass? So the pre-order numbers didn't really give them a good idea. I mean, they're Microsoft, they should have got that right. They 100% should have got it right. It's Microsoft, it's a server thing. It's your ballpark, guys. Come on. I'd say that to York himself. It's your ballpark. It's a server thing that should have really been... Unless there's a really specific reason why it didn't work. It should have been plausible. More than plausible. Sorry, this is just still breathtaking. This is absolutely... It looks Martian. And that's how I described it when I was there. It feels like a Martian landscape. It does not feel like it's something found on Earth. This feels alien. And in the sim, it's going to give me the same vibes. So if you've never been there and you wanted to, just come and stand on the edge of it in the sim and take it in. And just experience this. But I digress. In terms of the sim as a tool to replace 2020 for your specific, more advanced flights, no, not really, not yet. Once they improve stability and fixtures and those features, yes, it'll be great. I think those will be really cool. And I think it will actually take over and it will fill that same slot. And we'll see that. But it will not be right straight away. It'll be at least 6 months before we'll see that. The activities are cool, they're fun, and they're good for the casual gamer. However, they're not that good because things like the landing challenges don't show you where you actually touch down and they're not specific. It's not very clear what it wants you to do and how and where. The slalom ones are next to impossible unless you have a joystick. If you have a yoke, give up trying to do well on those because you're not going to basically keep up. The career mode is fascinating because the career mode is difficult, it is tricky, and it is complicated, but it is fun. It's annoying and irritating at times, but it's fun in a way that it's given you a mechanical... Is that a hole in the Grand Canyon? That is like a hole in the Grand Canyon. No, it's given you things we never really expected or experienced, and in cool new ways. I really enjoyed the career mode. And will it be the only thing I do in terms of flying actual missions? Absolutely not. No, because I like doing my little missions my way, and I will continue to do that. But it is really fun in terms of giving you physical constraints to use, which are pretty neat. Overall, this sim can be great. The building blocks are there. It is as yet not great. It's trying really hard. Let's kill the motor, shall we? A bit quiet now. I thought I killed the motor. Oh, this is a rudder of sorts. Am I going too fast? Yes, probably. Let's try and slow down. I figured it's a parachute. I can just stall some air out of it and let myself down. If I stall some air out here, we can drop onto this track here. So I'll just pull back a little bit, see? Stall it down. And we're just fine, see? Just stall it down a little bit. Let myself sink here. We'll stall down. Not too much, but enough. And I love how there's rocks on the middle of that trail, so I have to be very careful for those. Come on, I need to actually get down sooner than later, guys, because this is going to otherwise kick my ass and I'm going to fall off the mountain, so... I think I'm going to fall off the mountain at this rate, because the rest of the trail up there is very angled. Come on, let's get down here, shall we? This is going to be a very angled landing, and that's a bush there. So this is about to get sketchy AF. You're about to watch me crash. Okay, that was surprisingly easy. Come on, can we stop, please? I did put the parking brake on. Oh, you don't have one. Okay, I see how it is. So we'll just wheel it to a stop there. And we'll hop out here in the Grand Canyon. Being able to do this in the sim is amazing. Just land anywhere. What is that I hear? that a boar or something? Weird. No, honestly, this looks exactly like what I saw. And it's surreal to see it from this angle, because it does feel like exactly the same thing. And the fact we have a world we can do this in is incredible. Did they maybe bite off more than they could chew with this simulator? I think they did. I think they tried to do too much at once, and I think it got to them. Because it's given us so many incredible things, but in such a new way. Would it have made more sense to have all the core packages on your computer and leave all the scenery stuff and the photometry to the servers like 2020 did? Could be. Was that possible? I don't know. I don't think it was possible. But I still think they should have put them as much as possible onto your computer. I think we can easily, in this day and age, tolerate 150 gigs. It's a flight simulator, 200 gigs. When Call of Duty installs 150 gigs for you and there's 50 gig packages or patches every other month, we can tolerate 150 to 200 gig game on our drives. They should have put as much as possible on there, and it would have solved a lot of stability of the server things. Would it have made it perfect? No. But it would have made it a lot better. So yes, I can be critical. But as always, no matter what I do in terms of being critical, I will be constructive. Because it's important to be constructive. Do I see this sim as our future? Absolutely. We also cried about 2020. We said how buggy and terrible it was. And it got better. And this will too. So this is my end of year retrospective on 2024. I will still be using 2020 occasionally for things like the DC3 until we get Duckless mod for 24. And until 24 is much more stable, I'll probably still dabble back and forth. And I look forward to seeing new aircraft coming out in 2024 and getting my paws on them. So, all of you have a wonderful new year. And I suspect this one will be out after Christmas, so hopefully you had a good Christmas. And I'll see you all very soon.